Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kylie's Corner in conjunction with Your Soul Wisdom. I am here with my husband, Mirko. Now, if you had the pleasure of being around part one, we were a little bit rough because we have not done this before. And now we've popped the cherry, we've loosened the bits up. I think we're good to go for a part two. Okay. I promise you this one's going to be a little bit more pizzazzy. Okay, we're going to bring the pizzazz. By the way, speaking of pizzazz, can you hear my Do I need something on my mic?
Yeah, you
Am
need a
I?
pop filter probably.
I probably need a filter. Okay, so we've got to work on that.
Pop.
I'm asking him because if you caught part one, part one, you will see there's guitars in the back. So I wanted to bring him back on for part two to discuss music. Okay, that sounds really boring on its own, but I want to. So to give a backstory, Mirko is a engineer by day, musician by evening. Musician by evening's probably only been around the last what 2, 3 years. Is that right?
Something like that. Yep.
Professionally, but you have been playing since what age did you start?
About 14 years old, 13, 14, something like that.
Now, do you remember your 14-year-old self why you wanted to start playing?
I don't remember why I wanted to start playing, but I do remember just the urge to pick up a guitar and play. I mean, back then Nirvana was popular, so that's what I started learning, but I don't particularly recall why, to be honest.
Okay. And you come from your parents are pretty musically inclined. Might not be out there playing stuff daily, but there's always music going on. And I know your dad's got a mandolin and a piano and probably an accordion soon. To I don't know if you already like. There's a whole Eastern European band thing going on at their house.
Yeah, it's interesting because my parents never studied music or anything like that. We were always a musical family. I remember at a young age listening to Carlos Santana, listening to Michael Jackson in the house, Dire Straits, that kind of stuff. And also particularly from my culture, there's a lot of music going on all the time, and all different kinds of music. And the other thing is that, as you know, I mean, me being an engineer is very technical, but my dad is also very technical. And so, engineering and music are not so different from each other in the sense that it's a technical field. It requires a lot of practice. It requires a lot of, on the surface, it doesn't require studying, but it really does. It requires a lot of structure and organization and all that. If you can argue that it doesn't actually require it, but if you want to make meaningful things, it does. But the interesting part about what I do, programming and music, is essentially the same thing. It's a way to creatively express yourself through a organized system. So if you think about programming, you're solving some problems, and you can say, well, these problems are going to be solved, but there's a million ways to code the same program, just in the same way. There's many ways to play a same chord, or many ways to express yourself. So coding is really an expression of yourself, but it's not really visible to the world because the end product is the program, and the program does what it's supposed to do, but the code underneath it can be different. Whereas music is something that is visible to the world, which is what I think maybe draws me to it, to express myself, yeah, to express myself through music, and then through this logical system that either I've built or I've studied, or a combination of both.
I love that. And I think that being immersed in that as a kid, and I think that all like I saw your sister who's also very musically inclined and probably at a younger age took the music thing much more seriously than you did. You kind of got, stuck into life and marriage and all this stuff, right? And I think that you kind of had this like reached a point during COVID, right? Where you were like, of course, you're at home more, you're contemplating life more. I think that you had gotten to a point where you're like, you know what, this is something I can leave to like as a legacy piece or I leave behind for the kids
Hmm.
to enjoy, like for them to pull it out or whatever, right? And
Right.
then from there, I know that you kind of went balls to the wall with creating a lot of music during that time, which is what is your YouTube channel?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the YouTube channel is at Mr. Mirko, Mrmirko.
There you go. Not to do a plug, but I did because it's my corner. You went and did all these YouTube. You kind of got the kids involved. Like it was one of those highlights of COVID for us as a family. We really took the positives during COVID. We were really lucky where we weren't really impacted negatively, and this was a really beautiful, creative kind of incubator to be in. And then I think from that you got a random neighbor asking for a guitarist, right? And that
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
year was that? That was like June
23.
2023. And then you kind of were catapulted into a stage, right? And then
Yeah.
tell me the difference between well, I have two questions. Um, how do you feel playing like recording music versus playing live, right? And then what what part of your emotional self do you feel like how do you think your emotional self really benefited from diving into this whole music journey seriously during that was starting with COVID? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that too many questions?
No, but I'll address them in a timeline. That may
I
be the
yes, because
best.
you are an engineer. That's okay.
So, let's see. So during COVID, um, we were all kind of mentally, we were in a weird place. Everybody was in a weird place. And it allowed me to express myself, and allowed me to put into sound what I was feeling inside my head. Let's just say. And I up until that point, and even up until that random neighbor point, I hated playing live. Absolutely hated it because it was nerve-wracking. I just couldn't go up on the stage and be myself. And so, the creativity during COVID, I really, really appreciated, and I learned a lot during that period in music theory, composition, recording, etc. Then, when this happened, and I was basically dragged on stage to play a genre I've never played before, I quickly realized that the genre was really super simple, and it was not to diminish the musicians that actually play that music, which I am one now, but not to diminish that, but it is simple. It is basically they call them cowboy chords. It's just four chords together over and over.
Can we just out the genre because
Yeah,
it's like
country
okay,
music. Yeah,
country music. So
um,
if you like country, sorry, not
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. It is a simple genre. It is. Not as challenging as on a technical level, it's not as challenging, right? As you would think maybe progressive metal or jazz fusion or anything like that that I actually enjoy, the music that I enjoy and have strived to make before. So there's a difference already. But that simplicity allowed me to focus more on the performative aspect of it, and really get rid of that stage fright that I had before and the dread of playing live. And so that's been kind of great. It was a great learning experience in the past 3 years, almost 3 years. Playing music live in front of, sometimes in front of two people, sometimes in front of hundreds of people. And it's been a great, great learning experience, impacting me in my daily life as an engineer, the typical stereotype of engineers is, introvert looking at your shoes, shoegaze rock. Um, but it really allowed me to focus on developing my people skills, engaging the audience, and then started translating into my daily life where I could approach people and talk to them and break the ice, whereas usually I would be the one that was the introvert. Um, yeah, I think that answers all your questions at this point.
So here's my secondary question. So probably in the last year, you have, well, maybe longer, but you have introduced your own original songs out there and you have played them live, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And how does that differ for you versus, and I'm not talking about the practical engineering kind of approach, right? I'm talking about the emotional connection to music when it's your own shit.
Yeah, so it's interesting because the stuff that I wrote during COVID is more of a representation of me than the stuff that I wrote that I play out live. Um,
I did not know that.
yep, yep, it's
Mm.
definitely more of a representation of me because I feel it's more technical. I feel it's, musically better, more interesting, um, at least for myself. I like it better, right? Whereas the stuff that I wrote that I play out live is stuff that follows a familiar pattern of, you know, cowboy chord changes and lyrics and hooks and things like that. Basically, stuff that people, quote unquote, want to hear. People want to hear similar music because that's what they're used to. It's why older generations gravitate towards, the music that they listen to in their teens and whatever. For us, it's Nirvana and grunge and everything else that we listened to in our teens. For my parents, it would be like classic rock, Santana and whatever else. And it's likewise, people that frequent bars and wineries and everything else, all they listen to all their lives is country, so they expect more country. It's also why, most modern musicians, when they put out a new album that's a departure from their signature sound, in quotation marks, their fan base gets really angry for a minute, because what they expect is more of the same but different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, so that new stuff that I've been playing is more engineered towards, engineered is the right word. It's more engineered towards that kind of demographic. It's not really stuff that how do I say it? I don't really like my own songs that I play. I mean, I do like them because they're my songs, but I don't
Right.
like them as much as I like my more complicated stuff.
That's interesting because your original stuff on what's the YouTube again?
Mr. Mirko?
So is very eclectic, and some of it
Yes.
is very edgy, some of it is you know, not really out there, right? And I know that you're very open minded when it comes to most music, right? Where you'll dabble in it at some point or another, or the technical aspects of it you'll dabble into. I wonder what it would be like if you took one of those COVID songs and put, because I know a lot of it doesn't have lyrics behind it, right? It's
Hmm.
just the
Hmm.
music and whatnot. I wonder what would happen if you took that out there and just generated some lyrics.
There are some songs that I always wanted to put lyrics to. There are some songs that I absolutely don't want lyrics to.
Yeah.
And that's because I just want to keep it as a musical thing, not as a song, a structured song.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay.
Oh,
Look,
and
I appreciate that.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
one more thing I wanted to mention, right, is um, back in the COVID times, I wasn't as comfortable singing as I am today. So, having taken lessons in the meantime and etc., I definitely improved vocally. So I would be much more open to putting songs together, putting lyrics together to some of my lyric-less songs.
Mhm.
Um, But now it's the question of time since I'm so busy out playing. Um, it's a question of time and honestly motivation. Being in that, being in music and playing music all the time, it drains my motivation. It doesn't. I don't feel the same urge as I did before to create new or and original stuff. I
Hmm.
basically feel stuck. Um, you know, so there's only one person that can change that, and that's this guy.
Right.
But I don't have that drive right now to or the motivation to actually go back and fix it in time.
Interesting. Okay. I have one more question. I'm going to be
Yeah,
really quick about this. Um, so I've been to your gigs, right?
yeah,
And I noticed that there are people, and I think I have that a little bit as well, but not in a public setting, more in an online setting, where people gravitate towards you. Like there can be some regulars at shows, right? That you're
okay.
performing at. How does that make you feel knowing that it's not like fame in its technical sense, right? But you do have people who come to see you, right?
Hmm.
That aren't family or friends or whatever. I'm talking
Right,
about people that are there for the music, right?
right.
Describe that feeling.
It's weird. Actually, one of the the weirdest moments is like when somebody recognized me just out in the public, and they're like, "Hey, you're Mirko." I'm like, "Huh? Like, how do you? I don't know you." And it's like, "Yeah, yeah, I've seen you play at so and so." And it's just like at first, it's like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. This is kind of neat." But at the same time, it's like, "Yeah, I wonder." You gonna go. I wonder how that would be if that happened constantly. And I can totally understand, these celebrities that they get like edgy after a while and they're like, "Can't you see I'm having dinner, with my family?" But no, it's never happened like that or anything like that. But I can see that happening, but at the moment right now, it's a nice feeling. I'm not gonna say, it's not nice. Fame is nice, but again, you know, um, fame can lead you to weird things. Let's just say
How is
the
your
the
ego
drive
these
for fame.
days? How is the ego? Because you are a Leo. So you're a natural lion, right? With their
Yeah,
mane, lacking their mane a little bit. You've got a face mane, but not a head mane, right?
mm,
Am I making a dig at your baldness? Maybe.
bald
But
lion.
I'm just addressing another elephant in the room.
Hmm.
Um, but like, how does it, do you have to keep your ego in check? And I said that was my last question. I lied. This is my last
No, that's
question.
fine. That's fine.
How do you keep the ego in check? Because I could see it inflating.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. One of my mentors, his name is Jake Lizio. Um, I asked him how do you improve your stage presence? And what he told me, I'll never forget what he told me. He said, when you go up on stage, you are you're basically the king. You're the god of all these people, and they're here to see you, and you have to embody that. You have to be God, right, for them, and that in that moment. But he said, but you have to remember, you have to turn that off when you get off stage, because if you don't, then you think you've become that, and that becomes a huge problem for your personal life.
Right.
So, how do I keep that in check is a great question.
Yes.
Uh, well, basically, this is gonna sound really weird. Um, you always have to realize there's always somebody better than you at whatever that you're doing. Always. No matter who you are, whether you're Novak Djokovic and you're the best tennis player in the world, there's always going to be somebody better at some point in time. And you have to remember that. Or, if you're the best musician in the world, there's always going to be somebody better at what you do in some way or another. And, luckily for me, I'm not um, nowhere near the best in the world at guitar playing, at singing, or performing. So, I have no shortage of musicians or others to measure myself up against to bring me back down in reality.
I'm here also to help with that, just so you know.
You are, and this guy too.
Yeah, and that's our dog Max.
That's our
He
dog
can hang out
Max.
there. I've got Bella up here.
She's
So
on high
that
alert.
was my he's on patrol, I can see.
Yep.
So listen, so Mirko plays in Southern California. And if you would like to pay for his plane ticket, he's not beneath flying to wherever you want him to play.
Yeah.
Like, let's be
Absolutely.
honest, you would go virtually anywhere
Yeah.
once.
Yeah. I would go anywhere at least
Yeah,
once.
at
I've
least.
already been everywhere for my day job, and I love traveling. So hey, if you want to
Right.
hire this guy,
He's definitely open to it. But if you're in Southern California and want to check out a gig or listen to his YouTube, what's your website or Instagram or whatever you want to give out?
Instagram, Mirko plays music with the dots in between. So Mirko dot
Oh, I
plays
like
dot
the.
music. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good, huh?
I
I just,
know.
I just
That's
made that
mine.
up.
You can have it.
Can you overlay this on in post production? Just put like Mirko plays music.
That's what we have AI for.
There
We'll
you
figure
go.
that out for you. That's an extra
Yeah,
service that you can pay
do
me
it in
later.
post, please. Um, but yeah, and then mirkokurikmusic.com is my website. You can find my schedule there and all that stuff. Instagram is my primary social media at the moment, but that could change.
Yep.
You never know.
Yeah. And he loves it when people slide into his DMs.
Yep,
Yeah, you really
definitely,
do.
definitely.
The things
So do
I have
you,
to tell you.
apparently.
I my inbox is filled. You're not the only famous person in the house. I'm just saying.
So can I flip the script and ask you a
No, you
question?
cannot.
Oh, is that right?
Okay, what's the question?
Well, how does it make you feel? Doing my best Dr. Phil impression. How does it make you feel? Um, Having a husband that's out there and you know, like you said, having people who aren't friends or family come out to see the music and follow and et cetera, et cetera.
Look, it is no secret that we have a pretty rock solid marriage. We've just had our 20th wedding anniversary in March. And I think we both hold the same standard for each other as well as ourselves in that dedication piece. And I think that we're both in the same mindset of if you want to do something that might not be morally right, then you go do it, but don't expect me to be waiting around for you to figure that out, kind of thing, right? So we have a lot of trust in each other, and I think that I have met some of your groupies. I'm going to call them what they are.
Groupies.
Yeah, I'm going to call them what they are. I have had the pleasure of
Yeah.
meeting some of them. You do work with a lot of very, very good looking ladies and men too, whatever which way you want to swing. Um, and at the end of the
Who you
day,
work with.
they
Yeah,
don't have all this personality. So that's what keeps me, checked. And if they slide any DMs, I'm like, you know what? Usually you share it with me, you screenshot it, and we talk about it and discuss it and dissect it, and then we go about our day, right?
sure. Yeah.
So that to me, that's a very healthy, straightforward. I will fight a bitch in the parking lot if it needs to get to that point. And it has gotten to the point where people will ignore me just to talk to you because you're a good looking dude. But at the end of the day, like, I know where you come home. It might be late, but I know where you come home at night. I'm
It's
just
true.
saying.
It is true. It is
It
true.
is true. And what do I always make sure that you're wearing before you leave the house?
Pants,
Yes, and
underwear, and a
okay.
wedding ring.
Yes, so that's right. Bitches, I'm not wearing mine because I don't have that problem, but you do, and you get to wear it. So that's job well done here. Thank you very much. All right. All right. We are now at 25 minutes. That was a lot better than our first one, Marco. Well done.
That was way better. Thank you. Thank you very
This was
much.
way better.
Thank you.
I went in with too hard of questions, two off the bat. That was my problem.
You did. Yeah. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
that was the problem. And yeah.
Okay. Well, check Mirko out if you're around. Send him Venmo if you want him to go elsewhere. I'm okay to have a week away from him if he needs to. I'm sure he
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
like,
If you want to send me out to Australia, Timbuktu, or wherever, I'm not opposed.
all right. But you're not going to Australia without me. Just saying.
New Zealand,
New
would you go?
Zealand, I would still go to like to go New Zealand. Okay.
Okay, all
Just
right,
saying.
all right,
All right. Well, take
all
care,
right.
everyone, and see you later.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.